You have to know this. The fact that I'm here matters. The fact that you're there matters. This is no accident. None of us are.
If you do not have style, you just say, well, here I am, you know, as a human being. How can I express myself?
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
There is no way around it. You have to jump.
And we are calling it iPhone.
نريدها قوما ونهضة إسلامية. I have a dream. It's about yes we can.
في حلقة اليوم نسجل عودة لهذا البيت ولصاحبه لاري كينغ، أسطورة الإعلام والشاشة الصغيرة. كيف لا نعود وهو من تبنى رسالة برنامج أصحاب السلطة؟ كيف لا نعود لمن حاز على مئات الجوائز وقام بعشرات الآلاف من اللقاءات لكي يكون ملهم لنا جميعا؟ كيف لا نعود لمن كان مرآة لنا جميعا في حول العالم حتى نتقدم ونتطور؟ عدنا، عسى أن يكون العود أحمد. Hello, Mr. Lari.
Othman, welcome to my home.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again, the Yamalta and the suspenders meets again.
And you got yours.
Yes. After you, sir. After you. Thank you.
It's Larry King now. I never use the word I. It is not a comb over.
Don't mess it up too much.
No, it's not a comb over.
Thank you again, Mr. Lari, for giving us another chance to be here in your house. And before starting saying some questions, let me tell you why we're back. Do you remember the last word that you've said in your last episode in Larry King Live? Instead of saying goodbye, you said
so long.
Exactly. And in the end of the episode, when we've met you last time, having a Hollywood sign behind us, we said we really felt that we didn't want this episode to reach the end. So here we are again, looking forward to know more, to learn from you more, to take from your knowledge and your wisdom that you had. So, Mr. Lari, let me ask you the first question. What have you learned since we left?
Well, I've learned that I keep on working. I'm 84 years old. My father died when he was 46. So I never thought I'd live this long. So what I've learned is I have to keep on working. I think, in fact, my doctor told me the other day that I've been through so many things physically: heart attack, heart surgery, prostate cancer, radiation. This year I had lung cancer. They got it very early and they cut it out. I'm like a bionic man. I don't know how I've done this. So what I've learned is work is the most important thing. I am most comfortable when I'm working. And so I keep on working. The best I feel is when I'm working. The happiest I am, I mean, the joy I get from my children and family, but when I'm before the camera or the microphone is when I'm happiest. And every day I learn that more.
I saw an interesting study done by Gallup. The result was a bit shocking in a way. 30% out of the American people believe that college degree isn't necessary to reach success. So college degree, is it necessary, yes or no?
Today, yes. I'll elaborate. I didn't go to college. And I got into radio in 1957. That's over 60 years. And you didn't have to go to college then. Right now, 90% of the American people believe that college degree isn't necessary to reach success. So college degree, is it necessary, yes or no? Today, yes. I'll elaborate. I didn't go to college. And I got into radio in 1957. That's over 60 years. And you didn't have to go to college then. Right now, with the demand for communication. So many people are interested in doing what you're doing right now. So many people want to be you. You, Hasman, they want to be you. I got to go to college. You can't break in if you don't have an education. And I wished I'd gone to college. So I've spent 60 years getting an education. I get an education every day on my show on Hulu and on the internet. And I've been learning every day of my life. And in order to do that right now, you have to have better background. So I'd say college education, yes. Not, I mean, if you can't, if you want to be a mechanic, you don't have to be a college educated person. But basic rules of life, college educated, you will do better, you will earn more.
So how can we evaluate our lives after graduating from college or ending our schooling career, if we can say? How can we evaluate our lives?
Well, you don't get graded after school, but life grades you. You know, if you get to be the head of the company, you did something right. So life's lessons will grade you. In other words, and the public will give you your mark. If you think I got an A, you give me an A as a viewer. If you think I got a B, you could be a B. And if you don't like me, you might give me a D. And I can't control that. So the life's grades, you may get A, B, C, D, E, or F. That's not up to you. The grades you get in college is up to you. After college, you do your best and then they'll vote.
Talking about voting and going back to yes or no questions, do you think that democracy gives value for quantity over quality?
We elect people who then vote on things for us. I don't vote on health care or minimum wage or whether to go to war. I have elected people who vote. So we're a republic. A pure democracy, there is no pure democracy, because if everybody voted, we would have, it would be a chaotic situation. But the essence of America is the First Amendment, and that's freedom of speech. If you have freedom of speech, every other freedom comes along. If you don't have freedom of speech, nothing comes along.
Do you think that democracy gives value for quantity over quality?
I don't know if there's a pure democracy. I don't know, is there anywhere in the world where there's a pure democracy?
Maybe in your house?
No, no, there's no pure democracy. You married?
Yes, I am.
No, there's no pure democracy. No. America comes as close as it can to being what a well-run government is. We have a great constitution. I think it's the oldest constitution now in the world. And it's enabled by our Bill of Rights, which says that all men are created equal. We have never lived by that. America has not been kind to its lesser, it's not been kind to blacks, it's not been kind to Latinos. That's changing. So we mouth the good thing, you know. Created equal, all men are created equal, endowed by their creators with certain inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was true for everyone, it wasn't true for slaves. Mm-hmm. So we've come a long way, we've changed, we've evolved, but our Constitution lets us evolve. We can change the Constitution.
You ever go home and say, I got that one, and then you didn't get it? How'd you meet the wife?
Which one? Yeah, you start.
What's the best thing about being a Major League Baseball player?
Meeting guys like you.
What's your favorite color? You're easy to do. Blue.
It's over. Let's go.
Our love is here to stay.
Keep going, louder!
For you and me.
Yes or no? America is the policeman of the world.
No. I would have said yes, maybe the last time we talked. Mm-hmm. But the internet, everything has changed the world. The world is small. So what could happen in Kuwait could affect what happens in Minneapolis.
Yes.
We're a tiny little thing. Everybody's interconnected. Information goes so fast. If something happens now in Chicago, you know about it in Berlin. Like that. Like that. So, America can't rule things. You know, we don't own the skies. We have a great army, but Russia has a great army. We're an economic power, but China is an economic power. The Mideast controls a lot of the world. They're a small part of the world, but what happens there affects the world. Treaties. North Korea, a small country with nuclear weapons, can cause the whole world to be upset.
Yes.
So, no, we do not control things.
جميعنا أعجب في الموسم الأول عن نصيحة لاري كينغ باختيار السيارة المصنعة في يوم الثلاثاء عند شراء السيارة الجديدة. فكرس فريق الإعداد نفسه ليبحث عن ارتباط لاري كينغ بالسيارات والطرق. فتفاجأنا بمعلومة وأنه في مقتبل عمره اصطدم بالرئيس السابق JF Kennedy. One of the team members said that there's an information of that you crashed the car of JFK Kennedy. An accident happened. Is that true?
That's true. I was 23 years old. I just started in radio. And I was making like $55 a week. And me and three friends had a beat-up old convertible. It was 1958. And we lived in Miami. And we wanted to see Palm Beach. Mm-hmm. Palm Beach was expensive and aristocrat. So we drove up on a Sunday morning, a beautiful Sunday morning. And we're driving up Route 1A, right by the waters on our right, and we're driving these beautiful homes. We're coming up to Worth Avenue. I'm driving. And there's a man parked for the red light in his convertible. And I pull up behind him. I'm going by 10 miles an hour, but I'm looking at the buildings. So I hit him. His head bounces, or maybe I tap him. And he gets out of the car, and he said, "How? It's a beautiful Sunday morning. There's no cars on the road. How could you hit me? How could you hit me?" I said, "I'm sorry. We've never been in Palm Beach. We've been looking around. I carelessly looked away, and I'm very sorry." So I said, "Do you want to change licenses?" He says, "No, but I tell you what. My name is John Kennedy. I'm a senator from Massachusetts, and I'm going to run for president in 2 years. So I want the four of you raise your hands and swear you'll vote for me."
Wow.
So we all swore.
And you voted for him?
Oh, of course. I had to keep my promise, but I would have voted for him anyway. So that was my connection to John Kennedy. But I'll tell you something I haven't said before. The week before he was killed, he was in Miami making a speech. This was like 2 years later. And I'm in the second row. It was a convention. And he gets up to speak, and he looked down at me, and he goes, just like that, you, I remember.
Wow. It's not easy to forget an accident.
Not like that, no.
You didn't say you wouldn't vote for Trump, or you don't want to vote for Trump. You said, "I can't." Why can't you vote for Trump?
Donald Trump is not only one of my oldest and dearest friends, he's also an American success story. When he graduated college, he put his shoulder to the wheel, nose to the grindstone, borrowed $6 billion from his father, and started a career.
First, we have an electoral system in this America. So I voted for Trump, and he won California, and he got 3 million less votes. He lost California, and he got 3 million less votes than Mrs. Clinton, but he lost. So more Americans voted for her than voted for him, but we have an electoral system, the states mount up. I would favor winner take all. You win the most votes, you win, but we don't have that.
Yes.
I know Donald Trump for 35 years. I've been to Super Bowls with him. I've been to the theater with him. He's always been very nice to me. During the election, even though he knew I voted for Hillary, I spoke to him every week. He called me. When I had some minor surgery in New York, the night before, he took my wife out to dinner with her friends. He's always been very kind. I know all three of his wives, but he has an amazing ego. So everything is about him. And that was okay as a friend. He was a character. We laughed. Because he would always talk, I did this, I did that. He would be on my show and he said, I got the highest ratings. That was not true, but you nodded, you didn't care. And he liked to get his name in the gossip columns and in the papers, to be seen everywhere. And it was all about him, and it was fun. He was a fun guy to be with. But now, he got to be president. And that personality doesn't fit being president of the United States. The president of the United States doesn't go around calling newspapers fake. You don't do that. You don't attack people. But he has to, there's something about Donald, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not going to analyze this. He has a short attention span, he doesn't read a lot, and it has to be about him. So if you send him a long memo in which his name isn't mentioned, he's not interested.
Wow.
So it's an ego thing, and that affects me as president. So I haven't heard from him since the election, which I was surprised. I thought I would hear from him. I'm disappointed in a lot of his actions. I'm more left of center. And the Trump I knew was left of center. I mean, he supported Hillary Clinton when she ran for the Senate. She went to his wedding with Bill Clinton. He didn't care about abortion. He didn't, those weren't things that he didn't go to church. He didn't go. So this is a Trump that I don't know.
But maybe this is what the public wants. Maybe this is what
38% of the public. He did not. He lost by 3 million votes. No, yes, a degree of the public likes him, and there's an element of the public that likes him, and there are people. She ran a terrible race. He ran a good race for what he was appealing to, and a lot of her people stayed home. First, they may have thought she had it in the bag. Second, she didn't go to Wisconsin, which is a bulwark of the Democratic Party, Milwaukee, and Wisconsin voted for Trump by a small majority. That's impossible. So she ran a bad race, and I think he was surprised. I don't think he expected to get elected. I think the transition team was very thrown together, and he's had a rough year. I mean, he's had some success.
This is what we wanted to talk about. His team claimed that he did huge achievements when it comes to economy. Jobs are, chances of having job is easier now. The economy is better, but also the Democratic Party says that this is a result from 8 years of Obama administration. What do you think?
Well, yeah, he's right on all those occasions. But the economy was getting better under Obama. The unemployment was going down. Obama stopped that terrible economics of 2008, which he inherited. And Obama did a good job, saved the automobile industry. And he did a very, very good job domestically. And so jobs were getting lower, the economy was getting much better, and Trump inherited that. So he's continuing what was a downward surge. The stock market was going up, so it continues to go up. On the other hand, he threatens war with North Korea. He pulls us out of the trade agreements. The pact over climate, he pulls out of that. We're the only country in the world that has not signed on to that. It's like anti-science. So those aspects of things, to me, are very disappointing. So I struggle with it. I'm an American. I hope we succeed. But I'm very worried, very worried.
you defended media and you said his war against media isn't acceptable. But at the same time, let me tell you from another point of view. People believe that it is always when there's a Republic, at least for the previous 20 years, whenever there is a Republican president, the media usually is always against them and make them look like monsters or crazy sometimes. They overdo it. Do you think that's true?
Well, the Republican presidents in my lifetime were Dwight Eisenhower, got elected twice. George Bush the first, once, then he was defeated. Ronald Reagan, twice. George W. Bush, twice. If the media is so pro-left, how come Republicans win? Second, I've been in the media 61 years. CNN, 25 years. Been on the radio and television all those years. I have never, ever been at a meeting, been in a room where someone said, I want to go out and get him today. Never saw that happen. Now, you can say that maybe most of the media people are left of center. Most of the owners of media are right of center. The people with the dollars are not the left of center people. And if you own the camera, if you own that camera, you're more likely to be conservative. So I've never bought it. Now, yes, you can point to things like fake news. I don't know what that is. I've never seen anyone at CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC would go on the air and tilt a story deliberately. I've never seen it. Fox News tilts stories. There's no doubt in my mind. MSNBC will tilt to the left. I get my news from the New York Times, and I get it from the networks. And I love our country. I love our freedom of the press. If you take away the press, but when demagogues rise, the first thing that Hitler attacked was, you know, the Weimar Republic was the most democratic republic in the world when Hitler took office. First thing he attacked was the press. His campaign theme was, make Germany great again. So he dealt with those wishes of people, make Germany strong, make us better again. He appealed to that, and it was demagoguery. Look what happened. So when you start to see fake news or my enemies or these people are out to get me, come on, run the country, do your best. You don't own the country. You have to deal with Congress, you have to deal with critics, and Donald is thin-skinned. In other words, he will get angry at a critique of his, supposing I disagree with him on health care. I could disagree. Don't take it out on me personally. Because I disagree with you on health care, you don't like me because I disagree with you? That's not the country I grew up in.
Well, it focuses on people rather than things, so it talks about the founding fathers. But let me go back to my original question. So he says what he thinks America look like. What do you say when I say America?
Well, first he was a great singer. And there was no singer, he next to Sinatra, I think he was. But the song, his interpretation of the song, he knows what it was to be black. He was blind. He was in a school when he was a kid for the blind, all blind kids, and they segregated it. White kids on one side of the room, black kids on the other side, and they can't see. So he knew what was happening. That song, in my opinion, should be our national anthem. I love the Canadian national anthem. Oh, Canada, thy faith, oh, beautiful song. America's song is about bombing You know, it's about war. America the Beautiful is a wonderful, it's a beautiful anthem. It should be our anthem.
How does America looks in Larry King's eyes?
When you say what?
When I say America to Larry, what do you say?
A nation of immigrants. Except for Native Americans, we are all immigrants. My parents came from, one came from Russia, one came from Austria. We're a melting pot. Or we were born in revolution. We were born in war. We fought for that war. Do you know that if England had won the Revolutionary War, Washington and Jefferson would have been hung as traitors. At the time, they were traitors to the crown. So I see America born in revolution, overcoming many obstacles. I love my Constitution. I love my country. I don't see my country overall. I don't like America first. You know, I'll go back to Hitler. Germany über alles. Germany overall. We're not overall. First, if you believe in God, we're all equal. But I love living here. I love, we're very lucky. We have two big oceans on each side of us. And that's, in the past, has been well protected, but we learned on 9/11. Even that doesn't work anymore. But I love what our country has stood for. We've come through, we've had some terrible presidents, we've had some great presidents. We have never had an inner revolution. In other words, when the government changes, it changes peacefully. We have an inauguration. The people gather every 4 years and select its leaders. And they change, often parties. So I like our political system. I like our criminal system. I love being presumed innocent until you're found guilty. I love the different climates. I love cities like New York and Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, Boston, and New Orleans. I love our system of flight. We have a great record of aviation. We're a good place, and we're ever changing, and hopefully getting better. I hope we don't take a step back. My country, 'tis of thee. But not, you know, there was an old statement, my country, right or wrong, but my country. I don't support that. My country, when it's wrong, I'm embarrassed about Vietnam. Iraq was a big mistake, big mistake. So when we do things like that, that hurts us, when we lose in Vietnam almost 60,000 people. We fought a civil war in this country. Look at all we've come through. So I love my country, I support my country, and I speak out. Now when I did my show, I didn't see my role to speak out. My role was to ask good questions and learn the answers, and the public didn't know what I thought. Now I'm going to be 85. As Don Rickles used to say, what are they going to do to me? I'm going to be 85, so I speak out more, but I still, when I do my interviews on my show, I still am fair. I don't have an agenda. I don't take sides. Like, for example, I've been talking to you now almost 45 minutes. I have no idea what you think. That's very good. You've been nodding your head, but I have no idea. I don't know what you think of Trump. None. Very good. That's very good. That's what you should be. Let the audience decide if they agree with me or disagree with me. But you are the host. You're very good, you're very comfortable, you're very relaxed, And I don't know what you think. What do you think?
I'll tell you when you tell me first how much you're attached to life. I remember in one of your interviews with Dr. Neil Tyson, you said if it was your choice, you would choose to live forever. You hear the word death. How do you react?
When what?
When I say the word death.
Death?
Death.
Okay. Woody Allen said, I'm not afraid of death, I just don't want to be there when it comes. I don't believe in an afterlife. When I grew up, I was Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed, but I lost my faith, and I lost it through asking questions. I never got good answers from religious leaders. My wife's very religious, right? But why do people die? Why do children die? They don't. It's God's will. I don't believe in anyone up there judging me. Since I don't believe that, so I believe this is it. This right now is it. And I don't want to leave it. So for a while I thought I'd be frozen, so that when I die, which I hate that word, they could bring me back to life. Yes, I would like to live forever. I'm intensely curious. What's going to happen? Who's going to win the World Series? What's going to happen? Who's going to be the next president? And my wife says, you know, if you live forever, you won't know anybody. And I say, I'll make new friends. I love living. I've lived through a lot of things. But the two things I have never had, I've had heart disease and lung disease, and two things I've never had for people my age. I've never had a bad headache.
Whoa.
And I've never had a backache. I don't know what it is to have a pain in the back. And I have friends that tell me about their back and their back operations or terrible headaches. I've never had those two. Knock wood.
حقق الكثير في حياته، يعشق الحياة، حتى أنه صنع لنفسه لوحة من الحلوى تمثل وجهه. لم يمنع نفسه عن أي شيء، عانى من كل الأمراض، حتى أنه عانى من السرطان وخضع لعملية قلب، أمرين لم يعاني منهم، وهو آلام الصداع وآلام الظهر. ولكننا نعرف أنه تزوج ل8 مرات، فكان يجب أن نسأله عن تلك الفلسفة. هل لديه فلسفة خاصة بالزواج؟ Okay, then this takes me in a very good way for my next question. For myself, I look always in a positive way when I hear the word marriage. But for a person that have been married for 8 times, I want to know, what does the word marriage means to Lari King?
What, the word marriage?
Yes.
Well, the last marriage has been 21 years, so something went right there. We have I have 3 grown children from previous marriage. My wife has a son from previous marriage, and we have 2 teenage boys, both baseball players. Very proud of them. I think marriage shouldn't be a state thing. I think marriage should be a religious thing. I think the state should only be involved when there's children. So the state should call it a union, and if there are children involved, then it's the state's business if it dissolves, who takes care of the children. But marriage is a religious institution. You want to get married in a Jewish place, but when you go down to city court to get married in a civil, I would call it a union. Marriage, it's very hard. Monogamy is hard. To be with one person your whole life is almost impossible. I mean, I believe. When I see people married 60, 70 years, I say to myself, how much compromising have they done? How much did they give up? And it was very hard for me. I have no regrets, because what I loved at 20 is not what I loved at 30. What I loved at 30 is not what I loved at 40. In other words, I remember once meeting a girlfriend that I was in love with when I was 18, madly in love. I would have killed for her. Killed! I loved her so much. I met her 10 years later. She couldn't shut up. She couldn't stop talking. And I said to myself, my God, what if I had married her? Count the bells, knock me out.
Okay.
So it's it's a shaky institution. 50% divorce rate. But I've never understood prejudice. Why would someone hate someone because of the color of their skin or because they wear a different headgear than I? Why? It's stupid. Prejudice is stupid. It's immoral. It's also dumb. It's dumb. If you keep a whole group of people down, who's going to buy your cars? Don't you want to elevate everybody? Makes no sense.
Some of the negative things that you've said about President Trump is that he's in an old age and people in that age can't change their attitude. Being a president in this time needs someone to change, and being old, it's not easy to change. But we saw Larry King himself changing in the previous 3 or 5 years. Instead of interviewing politicians, presidents, you're interviewing actors and movie stars and singers. What do you think?
Well, I do politics twice a week. We taped the show. It's on the internet. So when I was live, did a lot of politics. Things change so fast that if we're taping, if I have to tape Tuesday for Wednesday, it's hard to discuss the State of the Union speech. I'm still very interested in politics and sports, but the internet is so attentive to the young. So we do a lot of rock singers. I'm curious about everyone. So yes, we do a lot of entertainers. We do a lot of medical stuff, but I'm curious. I am curious about everything. I am curious about you. I want to interview you. But I'm also curious about the cameraman or the elevator operator or the entertainer or the politician. I want to know what makes people tick. So it doesn't matter. When I'm going to work, a lot of times I don't know who I'm going to interview that day. I'm just curious about the human being. And I've had 61 years of it. I've known every president since Nixon.
Till Trump.
Trump I know the best. I know world leaders. I would like to do, the one person I'd like to do is Pope Francis. He fascinates me. He's very progressive in some areas and in some areas not. I'd like to interview the head of your country. I'm fascinated by the Arab culture. It's very close. Arabs and Jews should not fight. First, they're cousins. They're cousins. Second, they like the same food. They like the same. I'll tell you a story. I went to Israel my first time, and Anna Heshwari, Arab legislator, close friend of Arafat, invites me to her home on the West Bank. So I went to her home on the West Bank, and I go in. This is an Arab home, very comfortable, very nice. She says to me, "You going to stay for dinner?" I said, "Well, you have to stay for dinner." I thought it was my mother. "You got to stay, you got to eat. I got my sister here. You must eat." And she's showing me the linen in her closet. It was Jewish. The familiarity of the people, and to be, why you're on this earth, if you're lucky 80 years, lucky, I'm lucky 85. Why would you waste your time?
When you hear the word dead Palestinian, what do you feel?
A dead Palestinian? I hate death.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody that dies.
Yes.
I wish they could come together. When you die over land, it's over land.
Yes.
I want this land, I want that land, I want this land, I want... How many years you got to live? Why? A dead Palestinian is a dead human being. Yeah, everybody's going to die, except me. Everybody's going to die. Why would you make it sooner than later? Why would you kill rather than sit down and talk? Why would you not get together and meet rather than kill? I mean, that's your choice, meet or kill? That's crazy. It's just, so all my years, the one thing, the nature of human beings, I don't know. Sir Bertrand Russell lived to be 96, 97, Nobel Prize winner, mathematician, world figure. He was at a dinner once. And at the end of the dinner, one of the people at the dinner said to him, Sir Russell, what do you know? What do you know? And he said, the only thing I know is, I don't know. And I would tell you, Ashmet, that that's true. With all my knowledge and all the people I've met and everything, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I try to learn, but I can't make a sense of some of the things people do. When I see a man, a doctor, who attacks all these athletes, sexual attacks, I don't know.
We'll not talk about cents, we'll be talking about dollars. Because the program is upgraded since 4 days ago when we met Steve Forbes. And we talked about the importance of money. So when you hear the word dollar, what does that makes you feel?
It's never been my driving. I know Steve Forbes very well, I know his father very well, Malcolm. Money has never been my driving force. I love what I do. And I've been paid to do it because I'm in an industry that pays you well. But first of all, I love what I do. So I'm not driven by the dollar. You can't take it with you. If you can't take it with you, what do you have to hoard it or hide it? You know, there's an old joke that Woody Allen told me. He said, see this watch? On his deathbed, my grandfather sold me this watch. So I've never been driven by the dollar, the almighty dollar. I like our system, capitalism. No system's perfect. So we have to combine capital with some socialism. We need Social Security, we need health care. But the dollar is, it's a measurement. Now they got bitcoins, I don't even know what that is. I've never been a student of economics. To me, you got it, you spend it, I don't know what backs it up. It's a method of exchange. Why does someone with $2 million need $3 million? I asked Ted Turner that, and he says, it's like toothpicks. I have more toothpicks than you. We measure people by how much money they have. And if you have a lot of money, they think you're smart. That's from Fiddler on the Roof. When you have a lot of money, they think you know more. Why? So money is like, oh, he's rich.
If we had the chance to come and visit you for the third time.
Please.
Thank you. What would Larry King know more?
In the next year?
Yes, what is in your interest to learn more about?
I want to learn more about the pharmaceuticals. I want to talk to pharmaceutical people, what they're working on, how are we going to do with Alzheimer's, what advances, and we made so many advances in heart, cancer. Are we ever going to beat cancer? I want to learn more in the medical area because I've lived this long. I want to know more about why the body runs down. Why do we die? Why do we die? I know that we die. Why do we die? Why do our systems fail? What about gene splicing? We may splice genes where you don't. Like I have 2 boys. I have heart disease. So the odds are that one of them might have heart disease. They'll splice that out. Bill Clinton told me with the Genome Project that my kids, who are now 18 and 17, will live past 100. They'll have to get hit by a truck. Live past 100. Their kids will live to 120. Why are we... In 1925, people died at 50. So we keep it. So I want to learn more about what pharmaceuticals are working on. What is the mystery of Alzheimer's? Why do our memories fade? So when you come back, I will have a better memory. You will be older. I will not. You're always welcome.
Thank you very much. Because you're special, and because you gave us the second chance, you'll have a second ship beside the old one you have.
Another ship.
Another ship. So
that's my favorite little ship.
Open it, please. Thank you for the opportunity again.
What does this say?
This is the name again, أصحاب السلطة, which is power owners, the name of the program. So thank you again.
Is this gold?
No. If it was gold, we think that it will be sold. So it's
if
not
it's gold. You would not give it to me. I know you Kuwaitis. I know you Kuwaitis. I'm honored. I accept this on behalf of the American public. I'm honored to have this. I now have a white ship.
Yes.
And a gold ship.
Yes.
The wife will love it. I love this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm honored to receive this. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kuwait.
لاري كينغ يقول أنه لا وجود لديمقراطية مطلقة. حتى هنا في أمريكا لا يمثلون الديمقراطية المثالية. لا يوجد للديمقراطية مكان حتى في منازلنا. ولكنه متمسك ومفتخر بالمادة الأولى من الدستور الأمريكي، وهي حرية التعبير وحرية الرأي، وهي ذات السبب التي جعلت منه ندا وخصما لصديق عمره دونالد ترامب، حيث أنه واجه الإعلام فاصطف لاري كينغ بصف الإعلام ضد صديق عمره. عندما سألته عن الحياة وعن مبادئها، سألته عن قيمة الدولار في الحياة، فرد علي بمزحة، قال أنه هناك من باع ساعته في ساعة الموت. كيف لنا أن نتمسك بأمور لن تكون معنا بعد الحياة؟ هو فعلا درس للحياة، لذلك عدنا ولذلك سنستمر بالعودة. شكرا لاري كينغ، شكرا للمشاهدة.